To Paris then, and the commentators Barry, Stevo and Bill.
Eddie mentions that record win against France in Gateshead in 19... We'll remember he got 20 for England that night with 2 tries and 7 goals, and that could be under threat from that young man, Richie Myler, who's certain out there, well, as are all these England players. Been in Paris all week, arrived on Monday. They've seen some of the sights. They've been to the Louvre, they've seen the Eiffel Tower, and they're putting on a bit of a spectacle themselves here this evening at the start. And there's a rugby league like Earl, still able to offload, and the dressing room determined not to relent against this French side. Roby beats, and here's Briscoe. Goulding be asking from his side in this. A bit of pride here, and let's not be nilled.
Well, the most important factor is got to make sure that the kicking game is a little bit better than it was in the first 40. Remember, possession, not much field position, and yet they went for 2 power plays. Rather surprising.
Have possession then at the start of this second half, trailing by 44 points with the tackling for England. Paul plays the ball. France up to the 40-metre line. There's Kane Bentley, born in Auckland but raised near Bordeaux. Spent most of his life living in France. Speaks a Kiwi, in fact, the scrum-capped hooker. Coming down the short side with Jean-Philippe Bale. He's had a great season for the Cats. Remember, the Dragons are getting their act together. That win over Leeds, signalling that they could yet maybe make it into the playoff places. France have the penalty. England being forced to concede one.
Probably the first time in this game that they've really had the opportunity to apply the pressure. What can they come up with? We know the qualities of Thomas Bosc, but he needs the space. He needs the players around him to understand this.
That's a better shot from Roman Gagliazzo. Roman with the Carcassonne prop forward. Big charge from him. And Bosc to Muniz. Muniz dumped to the ground. Graham not allowing him to make any progress. Bosc now. Bosc finds Cyril Gossard. Gossard just short of that try line. This is the best possession the French have had in the game. The best in so far. Here's Seb Martin on the charge. That's the 5th tackle. France right underneath those England posts as Bosc chips a kick over the top. Bale as England chase it. He got the try, Jean-Philippe Bale at the start of the second half. He has. Jared Maxwell doesn't hesitate, and Jean-Philippe Bale gets the try for France. And well finished it was.
Superb kick as well, wasn't it, from Thomas Bosc? An opportunity, the first chance they've had, and they've come up trumps. The try. This crowd. It was a great effort, wasn't it, by the big centre. Has lifted the spirits of his side. Subdued French supporters in that first 40 minutes.
And Bosc with the conversion. I don't think they were that subdued. With the fact that they've drunk the only bar in the ground dry this evening. They've just had to send out for reinforcements. A brewery wagon has just turned up. So despite this scoreline, they're having a party here.
Well, the beer's flowing again, Bill, but also the French on the board. And maybe we get a smile from their coach, Bobby Goulding. He'll be pleased with that.
Bosc then with the conversion. France on the scoreboard. France, England 44.
That was a well-constructed try by France. Just a lovely little chip that's put. They got some field position. They've done an first half to get any line.
Well, you can tell that we are having some problems with our quality of the pictures coming in from Paris. We do apologise to you for that, and there's a little bit of dropout in the sound as well. But you've probably noticed also big black clouds around the stadium in Paris, so there must be some thunderstorms across the channel. We apologise for that, but stick with it. We're going to persevere. I hope you will as well, and we'll go back to Bill Arthur in the stadium.
Well, the storm clouds have been gathering for France from virtually the kickoff, raining points on them, but they've managed to retaliate. At least they've got off the mark, so that's given the French supporters something to cheer. It is very, very murky now. It's still very hot indeed, and surely there is a big thunderstorm heading this way.
Well, I can see the lightning in the distance, and you're right, it's well and truly on this way, but whether it comes in time to save the French as well. A lot more positive attitude from the home side.
England get head and feet at the scrum. Yes, they've certainly come out G'd up of the French.
That's what we expected in the opening 40 minutes. Bobby Goulding's obviously got them in at half-time. Said what in whatever language it took, and they're certainly running with a lot more force, a lot more, I don't want to say pride and passion. Whenever you represent your country, you've always got pride and passion, but they were just totally outclassed in that first half.
I think the thing that surprised me more than anything, I think everybody expected the opening 10-15 minutes, we expected some fireworks from the French, especially in the forwards, and I'm afraid we didn't get any. But we have now.
They've been totally,
a big hit.
They were totally overwhelmed, France, and as we've said, first division players coming against highly tuned athletes that we've sent over. Asked for them already. Talk about the players. It made it all the more difficult.
Well, what about the players that aren't there for England, though? You know, you're talking about the likes of Burrow and Ellis.
France have one team in Super League. England have 12. Ooh, that was spot.
You put the brakes on them. Remember the Celtic Crusaders?
I got an E in maths.
And a big afternoon for the Celtic Crusaders, of course. A victory over the Wigan Warriors, first home win of the season, and Crabtree motoring onto the ball. The offload for Roby, he's just short of the try line, I think. Or did he get that ball down in time? He did. And Roby joins the scorers, and France quickly put back in their place.
Great work by the big fella, Earl Crabtree. As though he was going to go in for a try himself. And the one pleasing factor his coach Tony Smith will be more than happy with. That's a good effort. Had to stretch out for that, created it with the first pass, and then there's all support, and they did it with great aplomb. And the one thing that Tony Smith should be really impressed with is the way their ability to turn. They want to look for the offload. They know that there's going to be support there. Remember, he came under a lot of criticism. Players, not the best performance in Australia in the World Cup. They certainly wiped away a few doubters with this performance. It's been superb.
Myler with this conversion attempt then to add to his points tally this evening, which is mounting all the time. Calmly slots that one over. 50 points here. France 6, England 50.
Well, this try comes from Roby jumping out from dummy half. He only gets that opportunity because of the 2 or 3 tackles before that. Players for England playing the ball. And he's organised.
There's young Richie Myler, who's surely his value is going up. Says that he's putting in another sounding performance here this evening. And Crabtree, the French like the look of this guy. There's a gasp every time he'll ball up for England. Here's Peter Fox, hoping to join the scorers. Peter Fox, already on the score list this evening, of course, Peter Fox. And a mistake rare from England.
Good opportunity, though. You could see James Graham realised there was a gap there, and it was. I thought perhaps just had a little sly look before he attempted to take the football.
There's that overs line I was talking about from James Graham. Even his own 30, he's prepared to the line and give it Gareth Hock. Unfortunately for France, the handling skills have let them down. They can't Just look at the frustration on this. Let's have a look at the pass.
It's not good from
It's a
Mercier.
little bit low, yeah. Thomas Bosch will forgive you for that one, mate.
We'll forgive Mikael Mercier for that. The Limoux player not doing him any favours with that pass. So France
And it was always,
concede possession.
and it was always going to be a great gamble, wasn't it? You know, a team from the lower grades. Mikael Mercier has times, especially in his defensive quality.
Be interesting to see whether Bobby Goulding throws young William Bartow into the fray. He's just 17 years of age. He's on the bench. Oh, Burgess just hanging on to that. Under pressure. Bartow is yet to play first team rugby.
Bartow is the young man on the bench for France. I must admit, I thought he was one of the ball boys.
He
Me,
looks
when I
about
looked
15.
at him. You've sort of got to weigh up whether it will be good experience for him. That's a good shot. Duport comes in. Contribution on big Sam Burgess that jolts that ball out. Just look at that. Bang, that's good defence.
Certainly was by the winger. Is a big unit, as we all know, Sam Burgess. So I have been so impressed with his return to international. And nice to see him playing in the loose forward position. I think that's his best position to play, because he's been looking for work. You saw that he had a good run before that on the left-hand side. Then put himself into a good position on the right.
It's true that, Steve. I think in our country, I think we look at players and we sort them out by size. We give them numbers by where they're naturally supposed to play. We put fast kids on the wing, we put fat kids in the middle and put an 8 and 10 on them. No longer do we do that these days.
Pot dumps Kane Bentley to the ground there. Here comes Seb Martin then for the French side. Martin, peer player. The word is that he might be returning to Catalan. Puts that kick in, and Hock belatedly there. The kick reaches Briscoe. Bosk back up on his feet. It's Hall now, joining in the action, been on the fringe of things, wanting a piece of the action. Plays the ball. Of course, Leeds in action themselves tomorrow. Some Warrington Wolves playing the Bradford Bulls, and Tony Smith, of course, has got the 2 caps to wear. He's on a flight, a very early flight tomorrow morning, back to the UK in time for that game. I'm hoping for a double this weekend. Again, good defence by the French.
Now we're through. And what was missing in 40 certainly improved in this second half. Sliding defence was non-existent. Very humid out there. We thought perhaps it might be a slight advantage. The French, who certainly will be more comfortable with it. There's the skipper, Jérôme Guisset.
Well, the 17-year-old Steve-O, William Bartow, looks as though he's about to enter the fray. I don't know if the French TV are going to give us a shot of him, but he looks like one of the ball boys.
He's going to be late for school on Monday, that's for sure. Around in the morning.
He's obviously shown the confidence enough to Bobby Goulding, so no point in just sitting him out there on opportunity.
Goulding was only a teenager himself when he made his international debut.
And Bartow is on, replacing Mikael Mercier. As France get the penalty, well, they've certainly enjoyed a better share of things in this second half. In fact, sharing the points so far with England in the second half. And on the Cyril Gossard. Gossard is stopped. England having to do a bit of defending for a change this evening. Bosk finds Roman Gagliazzo.
Well, the kick from Bosk was the only way through. And Bale scored the try, so wouldn't surprise me if they go for it again. That's good defence, so it's solid. Working as a unit. Coming out early. Going in one line.
Bosk pops the ball up. Again, Jean-Philippe Bale was threatening the try line. And the French are threatening with Martin. He flips the ball away. It's fielded by Muniz. And across the field now then.
Back to 6.
Hand in there, and there is the youngster William Barto, his first touch in the game. A Catalan junior, Barto. And French side with a great opportunity here with Muniz. Muniz, another Catalan dragon, winning his 17th cap for France as he plays that ball. Here is Bosc now. Bosc, the fullback, Constant Villegas, gets the ball away, and it's Bale who is tackled.
Drop that.
He's knocked that on, and a great opportunity for France to increase their points tally is diffused by England. Good defence there by the English.
Certainly was. Peter Fox put his big frame down low from Myler, and there you can see Fox. He never allowed the big centre any time to move. I'm pleased with that, Tony Smith. Had many opportunities to get their defensive line working.
Shame for Bale there, because he'd done the difficult bit, hanging on to the ball, and then he lost it as he was getting to his feet.
And I think if he'd put quick hands together, I think he's one-on-one with Fox, or, you know, at least have had a chance.
Quickly.
6 points apiece in this second half then, but England just happened to score 44 in the...
More aggressive in defence as well of the French at the moment.
Obi thumps that ball downfield. It's a good kick. Not quite a full...
Look at that defence.
Oh, bang, straight into them. Impressive, Sam Burgess tonight.
You can almost hear the groans and pain in the French players as they're coming into contact with these English forwards. And backs, to be fair, as well.
Bakary tackled by Gareth Hock there. Now it's with Remy Casti. Another one of the cap this evening. Bosc gets the ball wide to Bale, and Bale again trying to spark something for his side. Quick play the ball. Bale on the last tackle puts a kick in, which is going to be too strong.
And they were forced to put a poor kick in, mainly due to the fact that, again, the defence were getting across quickly. And you saw when Guité picked it up with one hand.
He picked it up and went to the blind side because Peter Fox was in his way. England could have given a penalty away there, but signs from France in...
Can they sustain it? They've salvaged a bit of pride so far in this second half. An enthusiasm with players out to prove a point to their coach. He said on Sky Sports earlier on this evening, if you were with us, that these down again out there who'll more than likely come into the reckoning when we... But if these guys have done the job this evening, then they'll be in the frame, providing their form is sustained towards the end of the season.
Well, they can only play against the side that's put up in front of them, and by Richard Myler. The progress from this guy has been impressive. I like the way that he can take control out of the field of play.
He doesn't seem fazed by stuff at all. Myler, he's coped with what's been thrown at him. As the security officials deal with a spectator who's got onto the field. He's obviously a slippery customer. And might be one or two more people who feel in this heat that they might fancy. But Jared Maxwell just calling a halt to proceedings, and play will resume after that brief hiatus. It won't, because we haven't got a ball.
Let's get back to the important thing, and that's a game of rugby. Well, it's been certainly an improvement, hasn't it, by the French. He must have been extremely dispirited in the dressing room at half-time.
And Bobby said that, and he's only had 5 training sessions with his players, and he said to us, judge me at the end of my contract, give me 3 years with this group of players, and possibly some more that prove that they're not eligible, but put the names forward.
You're talking about...
I think so, Bill. And
Well,
I think
Clint Greenshields is the first, I think, who's going to be available.
I think so, and I'll think if you look at what's happened to the Catalan Dragons and the way it's brought players like Thomas Boschon, Muniz, they've benefited from spending time with those players. I think it could possibly do the same on the international scene.
I'm with you. I know he's reluctant to do that as Bobby, but he's got to be realistic.
France squandering possession there. England have it back. And maybe looking to step things up a bit. Just have they taken their foot off the gas? They're leading by 50 points to 6.
Well, I think to be fair to the French defence in this half, it's certainly improved.
Here's Morley it is, motoring onto that ball. Graham hit him just right with... It's Roby now. Myler. Clubb. Tony Clubb, the former Greenwich Admiral, tackled just short of that try line. Myler stabs a little kick in, it's going to ricochet around, and it's come up comfortably for the French.
Yeah, just at the wrong contact, behind him.
Is Frederic Vacari, another of the juniors at the Catalan Dragons, like William Barto. Here's Matthew Griffey.
When you analyse this performance, the French outfit making few clean breaks in this game. Too long.
Kick from Boschi. The little grubber from Myler.
They got the right bounce, but the idea was there.
In the arms of Remy Casti, but the ball in the arms of the English now. Those of Adrian Morley. Here goes Michael Shenton.
See the difference. Refereeing as well.
That's a great run straight through a gap. He's got support from guess who? Richie Myler. And Myler will get his third. A hat-trick for Richie Myler. But it was Peter Fox Rovers, and the congratulations to the 19-year-old from the Salford City Reds.
Great work by the winger, and equally so from the man that supported back on the inside. What a night to remember. A hat-trick at international level. We'll never forget this night, that is for sure, and he is such a talent. Bang. All came about by quick play the ball. Very poor. You could see he took advantage of Jean-Philippe Bale. Very slow to get into the first or even second marker. And that has been the difference, of course, throughout this game. Mainly due to Tony Smith is at his side, playing the ball as quickly as possible. Opposition defence. Ray, result, a hat-trick for Mr. Myler.
And with this conversion attempt, well, he's already broken Steve Press in a game against the set in June 1996. Gives him an even bigger record tally. 26 points now for young Richie Myler.
We've been saying for a few years, what if Rob Burrow gets injured? What if Danny Maguire's not there? Where's our second option? Richie Myler, with the performance that he's put in tonight, might not be the second option. He might be the first option. Outstanding.
And it's always healthy, Barry, is the fact that you apply that pressure. So often in the past you say, well, we'll just keep selecting the tried and trusted, that as age takes its toll on them, you've got to be looking for the youngsters. And that's why I've been so happy with has taken a gamble. Very inexperienced this three-quarter line, but they have showed it well.
6-6. Myler. Well, he got 2 tries on his debut for England against Wales last year, and now he's got a hat-trick here in Paris.
Bit of a hit there by the substitute. Griffey would have felt that, Roby.
Maguire is back on. He's got that right arm very heavily bandaged. He's back out there. And a penalty. In the tackle on Ryan Atkins.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Casti,
it was Casti, wasn't it?
He thought perhaps he was on his own, but there was another catch himself.
England had a lot of joy down this side, nearest to us in the cap in the first half. See,
he's still going. Flips the ball away, and Roby has to recover it, but the referee has wiped the tackle count clean, and England will be able to pile on the pressure here against this French defence, which maybe is tiring in the heat of Paris this evening. Roby, Myler on a plate for Burgess. Burgess will motor around behind. Easier for the... Myler, he doesn't just score them, he sets them up. He set that one up for Sam Burgess. Denied a try in the first half by the video ref properly. No doubt about this one.
Super positioning. Absolutely sensational. Not the best defensive position by Jérôme Guisset, but Myler knew exactly how he could pull the man away and running. He's had a tremendous night as Sam Burgess. Not only in attack, but he's done his work in defence. Good combination. So confident, isn't he, Richard Myler? Knew that the big fellow was motoring onto it at speed. No answer.
Sam Burgess getting his first with that one. And Myler, can he add an 8th success with the boot? That he can. And England, well, there was just a brief resistance from the French for a while, but again, England slipping into the groove, and 62 points to 6 ahead.
On that play comes from Jérôme Guisset coming up. He beat Sam Burgess. Unfortunately, he doesn't make that tackle, but the player around the back means that Thomas Bosch can't commit. And that broken line of defence means that Sam Burgess is in a big... gets his try. Julie, his mum, will be made up that her son's got a meat pie tonight.
Just a brief pause while I think it was Bale had a bit of treatment in back play. Here comes Adrian Morley. Unbelievably, Adrian Morley has yet to score a try in England colours. I'm sure he'd like to get his name on the scoreboard tonight. That's what everybody else has. So too would the captain, Jamie Peacock. Here's Roby, Maguire, Shenton.
They're in a different league, aren't they, England, at the play the ball area. You need to get up, get on with it, and when you've got the talent of Roby controlling things from dummy half.
Two French players can't control any England player in contact. Bobby Goulding might be tempted to send the message out, get 3 in the tackle and slow him down.
The kick from Myler. Maguire, it is first to the ball. Maguire's pass out wide to Fox. And it's knocked on. It'll be the turnover. It was on the last. Couldn't keep it alive there.
Perhaps about the England produced just somewhat scrappy, to say the least. Maguire, was it? And Morley going in. Pretty solid. For a coach like Tony Smith to assess whether it's just been brilliant hands, control of the ball, or whether it's just the opposition are just not really up to it.
Well, we were coming to the game just wondering what kind of opposition Bobby Goulding would have on this French side. I don't think he can have a big influence in 5 training sessions. He's now got a benchmark, 62 points to 6, and the game isn't over yet. He pretty much has found where bottom would be. Everything else apart from this would be up.
Is Ryan Hall, the French defender's there to meet him. It's a dispiriting night for the French. And the organisers, well, England have got that ball back. It's been lost in the tackle by Westwood.
To be a knock-on, head and feet to the French side.
It's a good shot.
In fact, it was stolen in the tackle, the referee's saying.
I'd like to see that again. There seemed to be good impact in the collision.
Yeah, I think they've been badly done to there, the home side, but
Penalty goes England's way.
this is the incident.
I'm not sure.
It's hard to say one way or the other. Either way, they launch yet another attack.
Graham plays the ball. Roby, Myler a kick in, and it's Briscoe who's come up with it. Suspicion of a knock on there from the Rovers fullback. Referee, little grubber kick. Finish. Wonderful finish from Peter Fox as he scooted through onto that kick and finished off for his second try of the night. Peter Fox looks so simple.
Nice short side. Beautiful kick through. Richard Myler. He is enjoying himself tonight. Precocious talent. And Fox knew exactly what he was going to do. He's so confident. Richard Myler. Experienced players. I'm coming in first receiver. Controls things out there. The combination, Barry, of Maguire-Myler. Impressed?
Very impressed, and again, the players that we've left at home, like Price, like Burrow, we've certainly got a lot of quality around that half.
Myler aiming to add to his goals tally with this conversion attempt from way out wide. That one, a rare miss from Richie Myler, but he's doing everything for England tonight, scoring tries, creating tries.
Michael Shenton, the number 3 in your picture, was begging for that pass. A prop forward and a winger in front of him, but Peter Fox delighted that that ball just gets tipped over the defensive line. He has more than enough pace to get down and get another try for his country.
And he's pleased that Peter Fox, who rather surprisingly was not selected to go down under for that World Cup, he would have been bitterly disappointed. 2 tries tonight.
Straight through. That from Morley. Somebody's got to try and catch up with him.
Finish
but
it,
guess
Moss.
who will? Oh, Myler couldn't take the pass.
Well, to be fair, the pass will play the advantage. Will Maxwell, the referee.
Gratefully for the French, has possession, but just for a moment there it looked as though Myler was going to be in for a 4th try of the night, and then he would have claimed the most points in an England international record, which Wayne Godwin set against Russia back in the 90s.
I think Adrian Morley should have backed himself and finished that then.
Wayne Godwin, it was 2004 when he set that record against the Russians in Moscow, and as Eddie said, it's an exotic game. Moscow, Paris and other locations.
I played my last game in Moscow against Russia.
Was it exotic?
Yes. Yes.
Always eventful, apparently.
Exotic.
Oh, good play. One of the rare occasions, twisting the tackle and offload, get the support. Maybe the short blind side. No, they're coming open.
Bot in, and Bartow chasing it, and Maguire forced to concede the goal line dropout.
Well, to be fair to the French, they really have only had one option of breaking down this solid defence, and that has been the kicking from Thomas Bosc.
Look at this from Adrian Morley. Busts the line, pins his ears back and thinks, no, I better pass it. and it's...
Well, do you think Myler actually made life a bit tough for him there?
I think he did. I think he was overtaking him. That's how slow Adrian Morley was then. I can say
Barry McDermott,
can say
just
that.
to be clear about that when he's reviewing the tapes.
and I'd beat him in a race and all.
Come France again.
nice
with a
hit.
bit of a flurry, but big hit. And Burgess again. Bosc. Martin. He's tackled. Coming up to 6 minutes to go here in Paris. Can France add to that one try that they've scored by Jean-Philippe Bale, which Boss converted? They're hoping to do that now with Bartow. Bartow for Eric Anselm. Had a stint with a couple of years. Try against the Bulls at Cardiff. Millennium Magic on the last. Good pass from Bartow. Bullets it out to Boss. Boss, the little chip kick over the top. Oh, can they get the ball away? Planas, I think it is, who claimed the try. It's Gossard, Cyril Gossard, France, and the young William Bartow involved in that with that wonderful pass out wide, and Boss then with the kick.
Well, it was said it was the only option that was really troubling the English outfit. That well, didn't he? It was right round his Gliazzo, and then when they got the kick in, he said, "I'll take it." Neat by Thomas Boss. I'll take that. Finish. Well, it has lifted their spirits, and as we've mentioned, Bobby Goulding, he said, please, don't just say what happens tonight. Have a long-term situation. He has a 3-year contract, and there is the old saying that there's been quite a bit of light at the end of the tunnel in the second half.
Well, in the second half, it's 22-12 to England, 44-0 at half-time. 66-12, well, if this conversion goes over. And that's a respect. Second half. The damage done, though, by a colossal start from England. And they just blew the French away. Bosque. With the conversion attempt, the Catalan Dragons. Bosque winning his 11th cap. Converting that try. And it's France 12, England at 66 now.
If France's improvement is half as good as it has been, then certainly they are going in the right direction.
I think
William Bartow, his pass was outstanding, and we underestimate Thomas Bosch sometimes. He's kicked one with his left and one with his right that have resulted in tries.
Oh, as a talent, don't you know, to explain that to me. I really feel that he has been the best for well over 50 years. The great Hugh Jobert and Poncenet, they were tremendous players. But this guy has impressed me over the past few years. He hasn't given up. He's given his best tonight as Thomas Bosch.
And they could be trying again here with Villa. It is. In field, and the French crowd, and to be fair, they've stuck with their side through this game. Showing close towards the last 5 minutes, and France have definitely salvaged some pride. They're going down the short side. No, they're not. They changed their mind, and Gossard puts a little kick in. And
is that a little knock on there from Briscoe? Official. Good position though. Oh, yes.
As ever, if somebody's going to get a bang,
he cuts like, doesn't he?
Well, only because he puts his head
exactly.
there.
He puts his body on the line. He gets down, and unfortunately, I think he's.
Well, I'm not so sure about the body, Barry. If you get a good close-up of his nose, I think he leads regular. He's done his job tonight.
Roby bounces off the challenge from Gagliazzo. And it's Griffey who makes the tackle on him. Myler chips one over the top for Maguire to chase. It bounces over both of them. Runs it, and it's going to be knocked on. Pleading that one went backwards, but nothing coming from the referee, and France will get possession from the turnover.
All over the place, and Westwood deemed to have knocked on. That'll be the turnover. Well, will we get another try from the home side before the bells of Notre Dame ring?
Up towards the halfway line, and the French supporters cheering their side on. And some reward for the French officials and the volunteers who've worked hard to stage this game here. We've got a decent crowd in this stadium. An improvement from France in the second half, but they've also seen what England have to offer. And England's game about restoring a bit of pride after the World Cup disappointments. Well, they've made a start on that, and the next step they hope will be to the Four Nations tournament in the autumn and to win the Four Nations tournament when it reaches its conclusion at Ellen Road in November.
And Bobby Golding realises he's got to build on the fact that and pass on the information to his players how to control a game. Evident in that first 40 minutes where England a lesson. It was solid, the defence was very, very good indeed. And their ability to turn in the tackle and the support play just blew them away.
Briscoe, great offload from Briscoe, and Roby cantering through the French there. So he's still going, Briscoe. Roby it is. Feet, and the heat, not surprisingly, taking its toll on these players as the bell sounds again to bring this game to a close. And it's been a victory for England, built on a solid first half performance, which has resulted in 12 tries for this England side, and a victory here in Paris by 66 points to 12.